We can see what the effects of those policies have been, and we can see that they didn't work. There's been a lot of debate about whether what we saw was an insurrection, an attempt to overthrow the government, or lawlessness, looting, rioting, unrest. And I think in reality, it's a combination of those things. But as somebody pointed out on Twitter, there is a common element to all of these interpretations, and that element is actually the ANC. If it was an insurrection, if it was the RET faction, if it was Zuma supporters creating violence and the conditions for violence, or the many desperate people who went out looting, they are all in effect linked by ANC governance.
To invest in South Africa because of the high cost of doing business. And some of these race-based laws are exactly those high costs. Do you want to talk to us about how crippling BEE has been?
When BEE began to be introduced, you could see that it was done with good intentions. I think the intention was to say, look, we've got the whites who were the oppressors during apartheid. They're clearly much wealthier than the black population is in South Africa, as well as the Indian and colored population, of course. We need to do something about this. This isn't a great state of affairs. So, let's fix it. And the approach chosen was to say, let's stick to those racial groups, and then, just put the finger on the scale somewhere, say for the black population group, to make them, more able to compete and climb up the rungs, hopefully overtake the whites, and then, we'd be a prosperous and great country. But I think after a quarter century, the results are in. We can see what the effects of those policies have been, and we can see that they didn't work. This is an attack on a very sincerely held and fundamental belief that you must have race-based policies in order to create the equality or something closer to equality in outcomes. But I think you have to look at the facts and say, if you want to achieve that goal, and this isn't doing it, then do something else. Change tack, find a better way of doing it, and that is what we've been thinking about a lot at the Institute of Race Relations.
Often people hold on to what they know and judge policies by the intention and not the outcomes, even though the outcomes are absolutely terrible. And we all do this, but unfortunately the proponents of BEE and race-based policy are really prone to this.